Hi everyone, I'm Brian Heiston and welcome to the Fall 2017 Intel Virtual Technology Conference session, Scale Up Customer Value with Intel Xeon Scalable Processors. So thanks for joining us this morning. We hope you enjoyed the keynote. I do have a few housekeeping items to go over briefly before we get started here. First of all, for those of you Intel technology providers, you will earn 10 training credits for completing this conference session. And those credits go towards your company's annual requirement. And just as a reminder, once your company earns 50 training credits in a year, it qualifies for Gold Partner status. And Gold Partners can redeem points, receive premium marketing resources, and are able to qualify for enhanced specialty benefits. So there's some nice perks to going Gold. If you're not a member and you would like to be, you can become a member of the Intel Technology Provider program. And you can learn more about that actually by visiting the ITP booth here in the exhibit hall. And there's also a session later today at 3:15 p.m. Pacific. Now you can ask questions at any time during this presentation, and to do that, just type it into the Q&A text box, which should be in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, and then hit the submit button. We encourage as many questions as you can ask, so we really do appreciate the questions. So feel free to fire away with those. Today our speaker is James Vogeltans, and he's Intel Data Center Channel Marketing Manager here at Intel. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it on over to James. James, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Brian, and welcome everyone. Appreciate you all attending today. And the focus of today's presentation is really focusing on how to sell up to the new Xeon Scalable processor family for customers that are replacing older infrastructure, or for those customers that might be considering, do I continue to buy my Xeon E5 version 4, or should I buy the new Xeon Scalable products? Today the goal is to give you the information and tools that you need to show your customers why they should be upgrading to the new Xeon Scalable family. So for many of our customers, they're in a situation where they're looking to increase their IT infrastructure because business transformation is requiring that IT keep pace with the growth of data, and the enterprise computing demand continues to increase at a phenomenal rate year over year, and is of course predicted to increase in the future. And many enterprise customers, even stalwarts that you wouldn't think would be growing at a high rate, have a large amount of data that they're increasingly having to handle and deal with. Even tractor companies, for instance, are enabling cloud-based analytics for their infrastructure. So with that, it requires a large increase in compute demand. So we're seeing a lot of demand for compute, and customers are wondering what to do if they have existing infrastructure that needs to be upgraded. Businesses can't compete if they're on old infrastructure. Studies have shown and surveys that if you have systems that are 4 or 5 years old, those applications tend to get siloed. Those kind of hinders deployment of new services on existing infrastructure that might be at maximum capacity. Also, those systems might be more vulnerable to security exploits, as those systems may not get upgraded or patched as frequently. And of course, they may end up being the bottleneck of the other infrastructure. They might have legacy network infrastructure, or they might have older hard disk drive technology that's slower than the latest technology. And of course, they might just be simply out of capacity with increased data needs. Some of those existing infrastructure and servers you can't add any more storage to them, and so forth. So for those systems at 4 years, typically the performance becomes an issue, and capacity and throughput becomes an issue, in addition to warranty issues. Of course, many servers are sold with 3-year warranties, and once those expire, the maintenance costs can climb quite considerably. So for a lot of your customers that are in that situation, they're looking to upgrade, and of course we want to show them the benefits of upgrading to the latest and greatest technology. So for those customers that are upgrading, they also have some challenges that they want to solve. They want to, of course, increase their compute bandwidth and have more efficiency, but they also want to deploy, cloud environments or hybrid cloud environments where they, want to do server consolidation in-house in their own data centers, but also might want to have the ability to burst to the public cloud and have the infrastructure in place that allows them to do that. Of course, with increasing amounts of data, customers want faster insights to their data, and analytics is a up-and-coming workload that many customers are wanting to deploy. And there's a lot of key capabilities in the latest hardware platforms that give workload acceleration to those types of workloads that we'll talk about later today. And of course, security is always top of mind for any enterprise IT leader, and so they want to have the latest and greatest in terms of hardware security and software security. And some of these new platforms have workload accelerators for security workloads that gives a substantial increase in performance for things like encryption, so customers don't see lots of overhead for keeping their data secure for using encryption technologies. Now, of course, we've gone through a big shift this year by introducing our new Xeon Scalable product family. And for those that may not be familiar, we have some other courses available today and online after today's session, if you're not familiar with our new Xeon Scalable family. But just as a quick refresher, we have transformed our previous Xeon E5 and Xeon E7 product families into one product family called the Xeon Scalable family. And within that, we have 4 different levels of brands, if you will, the Xeon Platinum, Xeon Gold, Xeon Silver, and Xeon Bronze. And today we'll talk a little bit about those, but we have further information and training on the new branding and the new platform features that we'll cover in other sessions. But today I want to just cover what the sales proposition is, and so encourage you, if you're not familiar with the new processor naming and branding or the new platform features, to look at those other sessions available today and online after today's virtual conference. So I'll dig into what are the key selling points for Xeon Scalable as customers are looking to upgrade their infrastructure. And the most simple and easiest value proposition is efficiency and total cost of ownership reduction. For customers that are looking to consolidate existing infrastructure, usually in the cloud environment, using virtualization software such as VMware or Microsoft or open source OpenStack, we can consolidate a 4 or 5-year-old server at a ratio of over 4 to 1. And so for customers that are looking to replace infrastructure that's out of warranty and has higher costs, that's a tremendous value proposition, because the total cost of ownership, obviously, of having one server instead of 4.2 in this case, is much lower overhead and licensing costs, as well as power consumption and just overall space in the data center that is driving power consumption and cooling costs. So with the just overall raw performance of the new Xeon Scalable family, it's a tremendous value proposition for customers looking to upgrade their 4 or 5-year-old servers. Now, along with that, that's a pretty easy argument to make, replacing the old infrastructure, which we have tremendous gains over the last 4 years. But also, customers are going to be curious, how does it stack up versus the previous generation, the E5 2600 version 4 family. So across several vectors, versatility, storage performance, and security, versus the previous generation, we're seeing tremendous increases in performance across a wide range of workloads as it relates to cloud deployments. So across a wide range of benchmarks, we're seeing an average of 65% increase in performance generation to generation versus our E5 version 4. So no matter what kind of workload you might be deploying on a cloud environment, you can rest assured you're going to see a tremendous increase in performance. Now, a caveat to say that some workloads are going to be below that and some will be higher. some of those workloads that are higher are driven by some of these technologies that we've deployed in the Xeon Scalable family. So for instance, we're seeing greater than 2x of performance on storage efficiency using vSAN. And the reason we can see those increased levels of performance is having more PCI Express, more memory bandwidth in the platform. In addition, we've introduced some new very fast Intel Optane SSD technology drives this year, which gives us a tremendous leap in performance in terms of storage. So those are one example of some new technologies that are doubling the performance even versus the previous generation that somebody may have purchased just a year ago. In addition to that, customers, of course, care about cloud security. And in this example, we have some new technology that we deployed in the Xeon Scalable family, our Intel AVX 512 instruction set, as well as our Intel Quick Assist technology, which is integrated into our chipset component of the platform. These two components technologies can increase security performance by offloading some of those security, encryption, decryption, secure key type workloads from the processor into the chipset, or we have new instruction sets in the processor that can greatly increase the throughput of certain types of workloads that can take advantage of those new instruction sets. So for example, some of these cloud security workloads can have a greater than 2x performance increase versus the previous generation if they're taking advantage of those new instructions and workload accelerators. So in addition to the value proposition of upgrading legacy infrastructure, there's also a tremendous benefit of considering, of course, buying the new Xeon Scalable products versus the previous generation that I'm sure most of you have been actively selling here for the last year or so. So some very key, compelling proof points to share with your customers on what they might be considering purchasing. So in addition to cloud, many customers, as we mentioned, are very interested in workloads that can give them better access to their data and do analytics real time on that data. And there's several, of course, software partners that we work with in the industry, as shown here, that provide those types of software solutions. And we've been working, of course, with all of these vendors to optimize their software to run more efficiently with our Xeon Scalable family and the new technologies that are deployed on the platform. And here's a few examples of what you can see versus the previous generation. Some of these are in-memory database analytics where they run everything in memory. So with the increased memory bandwidth of the new platform and higher capacities with higher density DIMMs available now, we're getting very substantial improvements in analytics. So for customers that are considering deploying an analytics solution, definitely want to consider Xeon Scalable because we're seeing 50% to 100% improvement across many different software solutions versus our previous generation. And here's an example as well where many of these workloads typically would run on a larger 4-socket platform with lots of memory DIMMs. Some of these would be deployed on 2-socket platforms as shown on previous generation E5. So this is an example where no matter what type of previous platform they might have been deployed on, whether it was E5 or E7, they can deploy that on Xeon Scalable, whether it's in a 2-socket configuration or a 4-socket configuration. And those solutions are now available from many of these partners directly, or with integrating your own system and adding the software on top. And in addition to the analytics, we have other innovations that provide performance enhancements to these other analytic solutions, as shown here. And these might be more relevant for folks in the channel because we were deploying these more rapidly than maybe some of the more proprietary solutions, as shown on the previous slide. But here you can see across multiple workloads, we're seeing a tremendous increase in analytics performance driven by the workload accelerators, such as Quick Assist technology and AVX512 instruction sets, and also with the help of our latest Intel Optane SSDs, seeing tremendous improvement in performance across several different analytics workloads. So in addition to performance, customers in IT care about security, and we've done a lot of enhancements to the platform to enhance security performance and to give customers the freedom to deploy those security technologies without having to worry about the overhead of running those workloads in an encrypted manner. And so the instruction set enhancements and the Quick Assist technology gives us that increased performance. So customers don't need to worry about having to add a lot more IT infrastructure just to keep their data secure. So for those deployments that are very focused on web security, we're seeing a tremendous improvement by taking advantage of things like AVX and Intel Quick Assist technology. In addition to that, in a cloud environment, we have several other new features such as platform trust technology and Intel TXT with one-touch activation. So for customers that demand the most secure VMs for their customers, we have some new integrated technologies that make those secure virtualization environments much more easy to manage and control. Also, I wanted to take a chance to talk to you about our new Xeon Processor Advisor tool. We have links to this here. It's a public tool on xeonprocessoradvisor.intel.com, but for those of you that already have a login for our ITP website, you can get to this directly at this other link, and these links are also at the end of the presentation as well to take you directly there. We know with the branding change going from Xeon E5 and E7 to Xeon Scalable, there's some customers and even some of your sales folks might be a little bit confused initially as to, okay, I used to buy the E5 2620, now what processor do I buy, or should I be considering for my customer's deployment? So we've made it very easy for you. Essentially, you take this tool, you enter in what existing SKU that your customer has purchased in the past or might be considering buying from an E5 version 4 perspective, and then it will give you a direct recommendation for which Xeon Scalable SKU you should be looking at. And if you want to take it to the next level, you can enter the more information from a total cost of ownership perspective and give you a TCO and ROI analysis comparing, if I'm replacing a legacy infrastructure with a version 1 or version 2 SKU, giving you the information on what the value would be for upgrading that legacy infrastructure, or if you just want to do a side-by-side comparison of E5 version 4 to the new Xeon Scalable and see what the performance and pricing differences are and the TCO analysis of that side-by-side, you can do that as well. So definitely, if you have not checked out this tool, it's a very valuable tool for you and your customers during this transition. I'm sure as everyone gets used to the new branding and model numbering in the years to come, this won't be necessary in the future, but for this year, I know it's a very valuable tool, and many of our customers are using it, and it's helping them out very much during this transition. So I encourage you to check that out and learn more about that. So with our short presentation today, I know we want to give you the sales tools that you have, and we'll talk more about some promotions and things as well. But in conclusion on the sales points, customers are looking for more compute with greater efficiency. As you showed by the proof points today, Xeon Scalable is, of course, delivering that efficient computing performance and giving you a great value proposition for upgrading existing infrastructure. Customers are wanting to deploy hybrid cloud. As I've shown from the proof points today, we have the latest technology in the platform, both from a performance and security standpoint, to deploy those solutions on Xeon Scalable. From an analytics standpoint, we've got the workload accelerators built into the processor, built into the chipset of this new Xeon Scalable platform, delivering very impressive performance versus the previous generation for whether it's in-memory analytics or just data analytics. And then from a security standpoint, we've got enhancements to the platform, such as our Intel Quick Assist technology, and some also taking advantage of some of the new instruction sets in the processor that gives you much higher performance for running workloads such as encryption and decryption that gives your customers the ability to deploy secure solutions without the compromise of less performance. So we have a lot of promotions going on for Xeon Scalable in the channel for this quarter through the end of the year, and some of those will continue on into next year as well. But the big one is for Intel Xeon Scalable processors. We are ramping up the points for this first quarter to get customers moving off to the new platforms and the new processors. So we're giving up to 1,350 points for a Xeon Platinum processor, Gold processors up to 450, and up to 90 points for Xeon Silver processor. And for those customers that are part of our HPC specialists or cloud specialist program, they're going to earn 4x the points on those as well, and 3x for Gold and Silver. So this is happening right now and through the end of the year. So if you haven't seen this promotion, please take advantage of it, because it's a lot of opportunity to earn some points now until the end of the year on this. Also, we have a webinar next week for the Americas, where I'll be talking about the new Xeon Scalable platform in more detail, giving you the overview of all the key features and technologies that go into the platform. Some of those I touched on today, such as Quick Assist and AVX512. If you want to learn more about how all the new platforms are laid out and the details on the branding and model numbering, we'll cover that next week, and you can earn up to 10 training credits and 500 points next week. So definitely pay attention to that. Also, beyond that, the webinar, we have the ability to earn some more training credits. We've developed several different classes that are available now on the channel training website. So we have an additional promotion. So if you do 2x the training credits, if you complete 2 or more of the Xeon Scalable family courses between now and the end of the year. And so you definitely want to take advantage of that. There's also a promotion for our PCSD compute blocks. So if you configure at least one of those by the end of the year, there's a chance to earn points on that. And then this last slide is just a link to what all these classes are. So like the previous slide showed, if you take at least 2 of those, you can earn 2 extra points between now and the end of the year by taking those. So we have classes on just understanding the new processor branding and metal levels and going deep into how that all lays out and how that what do the model numbers mean and what are the digits mean and so forth. We have a detailed class on that. We have selling up to the Xeon Scalable processor family, which you're taking today. We have a deep dive on the Xeon Advisor tool, so just walking you through what the tool is and how it works, and give you a tutorial on that. And then we also have a introduction to the Xeon processor overview with the new Xeon Scalable processor, and then a transition guide for helping you transition from the previous generation products to the new Xeon Scalable family. So I encourage you to check out all those courses and get your training credits and, of course, all the points promotions that go along with that. All right, so Brian, did we have any questions that come in during the session that I can answer before we close today?
Yeah, sure. So one question that came in is, do we have side-by-side comparisons of these new, the Xeon Scalable processor SKUs?
In terms of performance, absolutely. So we've got some public performance data. Some of that's, of course, on our intel.com/performance website. So that'd be a place I would look to initially. And there's lots of performance data available, of course, through other industry sources such as spec.org and so forth. But we have, of course, benchmarked. A lot of our OEM partners have benchmarked their systems as well, and so you can get the details on how all the SKUs stack up against each other.
And of course, as James already mentioned, you can compare to previous generations as well using the Xeon Processor Advisor tool, which is public, and you all have access to that. All right, and then another question that came in is about Xeon W and how that compares to this family, or if it's comparable.
Yeah, it's a great question. I didn't mention it in today's presentation, but we did recently launch the Xeon W processor family. So how does that compare to Xeon Scalable? So the simple answer is if you had previously where we had a Xeon E5 1600 product family, which was dedicated for single socket workstations as part of our Xeon E5 product family. We actually took that product and made it a separate product called Xeon W going forward. So it's a dedicated single socket workstation platform that replaces the previous generation E5 1600. Version 4 was the latest one, of course. And that's really a cost-optimized socket infrastructure and motherboard infrastructure for single socket workstations. So the reason for having that separate is, the physical socket and implementation of Xeon Scalable is quite large and expensive in terms of the motherboard requirements for that. So we actually kept the previous generation socket infrastructure for Xeon W to maintain a very cost-effective workstation platform. So those will be complementary going forward, and we'll have a dedicated workstation platform called Xeon W going forward.